Hello friends, it's Miss Anna from the Council Bluffs Public Library, back with you today for another online story time. And I have a really great fairy tale to tell you today. It's called The Princess and the Pea. So once upon a time, there was a very adventurous princess, and that princess decided to take a walk out in the forest. So first she walked this way, and then she walked that way. She climbed up to the top of a mountain, and then she went down, way down in the valley, and then she crawled under a bush. She rolled down a hill, and do you know where the princess found herself? She found herself very, very lost. Well, lucky for her, right up ahead, the princess saw a beautiful castle, and she decided to knock on the door and see if she could get some help. So up to the door she went, knock, knock, knock. And who came to the door but a young prince? Now the prince had been looking for a princess to marry, but his mom, the queen, had told him that the princess had to pass a princess test. We'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. And so the prince said hello to the princess. Hello. And he thought he would invite her in for dinner because maybe if they turned out to like each other, she would pass the princess test. And so they went into the castle. They went to the dining room. They sat down and they enjoyed a delicious feast. Do you know what they ate? What would you eat if you were a prince and a princess and you could have a feast of anything you wanted? I bet you picked something delicious, didn't you? Well, the prince and the princess decided to eat tacos and ice cream. They talked and they laughed. They had a great time, and their bellies were very, very full. And the princess had had such a very long day, and she was feeling pretty tired. Well, the prince said, "Princess, I like you very much. My mom says you have to pass the princess test if we're going to get married." And the princess says, "Okay." So the queen came and took the princess to one of the many beautiful royal guest rooms. And when the princess got there, she saw a bed with many, many mattresses. Can you count them with us? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mattresses on that bed, and they were all covered in soft, colorful, rainbow-colored blankets. What colors are on the bed, friends? We have red, orange, green, blue, and purple. Oh, they were so beautiful. Well, the queen told the princess that to pass the princess test, she would just need to go to sleep in this beautiful room. And the princess thought that sounded like a pretty silly test. And so she said, "Okay, doesn't seem too hard to pass, right?" And so the queen left, and the princess climbed up to the top of the bed. She lay down on her side, and it was really lumpy. She decided to try her back. Oh, she wiggled around, still lumpy. It's like there's a bowling ball under there or something. Well, then the princess decided she'd just lay this way and try to lay on her stomach. Do you think she could get comfortable? She could not get comfortable. So the princess climbed down from the bed. She lifted up that great big pile of mattresses. And do you know what she found? The princess found a delicious green pea. Well, the princess loved peas. So do you know what she did? Yum, 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 yum. The princess ate the pea. And then she climbed up to the top of the bed and she went to sleep. She slept the whole night through. Well, in the morning, the princess climbed back down from the bed, and she went off through the castle, all the way down to the dining room. And when she got to the dining room, she found the prince. And the prince said, "How did you sleep?" And the princess said, "Well, I tossed and I turned and I tossed and I turned until I found that tiny and delicious pea underneath the mattress." And the prince said, "What did you do with it?" And the princess said, "Well, I put it in my tummy. I love peas." And the prince said, "How very smart of you." Well, the princess had passed the test because she felt that teeny tiny green pea through all of those soft, cozy mattresses. And so the very next day, the prince and the princess got married and they lived happily ever after. And that, my friends, is the story of the princess and the pea. Do you think that if there was a pea underneath your mattress, you would be able to feel it? Would it feel like a bowling ball? If it does, you might be a princess or a prince. Or maybe it's just a silly story, right? Yeah, don't try and put any peas under your mattresses, okay? That would make a really big mess and I don't want your grown-ups to be mad at me, okay? Okay. All right, my friends, I have just a quick little rhyme for us to do before we say goodbye today. So can you show me all of your fingers up in the air? And let's see, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 fingers, and in our rhyme, we're going to pretend to have 5, wiggle them, 5 plump peas, and they're in a pea pod, all pressed up. So can you make a fist and press the peas with your other hand? And then guess what happened to the peas in the pod? 1 grew, show me 1 finger. 2 grew, and so did all the rest. All 5 grew. Do you know what they did then? They grew, and they grew. Can you make your hands bigger? And they never stopped. They grew and they grew until that pea pod popped. All right, can we do it all together? All right, show me your 5 fingers. 5 plump peas in a pea pod pressed. 1 grew, 2 grew, and so did all the rest. They grew and they grew and they never stopped. They grew so big till the pea pod popped. Very nice job, my friends. I hope you made a lot of noise with that one at home because it's pretty fun to do the popping, right? All right, my friends, that is all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Have a great day.